Oh, cool. Hi, everybody. How's everybody's MAGFest so far? Awesome. You guys are the troopers coming out. First day, early panel. How many of you guys have already been to a panel today? Oh, nice.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome.
You guys are here to learn.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, you'll learn absolutely nothing from this panel. No, I'm kidding.
Nope.
It's going to be a great panel as long as I stop talking. So, hello and welcome to How to Make Music on Twitch. My name is Noah Downs. I'm going to moderate this panel. I'm a lawyer, but I need to do a quick disclaimer. I am not your lawyer yet. Anything I tell you today is not legal advice. Everything will change in your specific circumstances. Bet you didn't expect to hear that at a music panel.
He's legally obligated to say that at every panel he does.
I really am, like no joke.
Like 100%.
Even if I'm just like talking about like Pokemon Go. Anyways, welcome to this panel. We're going to have a great time, but like I said, I'm going to moderate it, throw some stuff in here and there. But I'm going to let our panelists introduce themselves because they're the wonderful people and they are the people that you should be listening to. So without further ado, let's start at the far end. Jared.
Why you got to put me on the spot?
Yeah, because I can do that. I am the moderator.
My name is Jared. I go by the 8-Bit Drummer on Twitch and YouTube, and I play drums on the internet for fun and memes. That's me.
Cool.
My name is David Miner. I stream under my own name, David Miner, and I'm a music production streamer. And I focus on long-form content and making tracks live on the internet for you guys.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. Up until recently, I went by Random Girl Singing on Twitch. Now you can find me on twitch.tv/Stephanie. I write songs and perform them on the internet.
Cool. And I'm Noah, and I'm on all platforms as my lawyer friend because I'm friendly.
He will also sue you.
And also, but I will sue people. Or, defend people too. Mm-hmm. So if at any point
Allegedly.
somebody in the back cannot hear us, just kind of raise your hand and wave furiously, and we'll get closer to the mic like this. All right, so I'm going to start this off asking a couple of questions, get things going. So, y'all, creating music live on stream, playing music, how do you guys view your chat? Because chat can be a demon, and chat can be your best friend. I think some of us actually have chat in the room, which is weird to kind of see your heroes. But how do you view your chat? Are they a collaborator, or are you a teacher, performer, entertainer, whatnot? Whoever wants it.
They can be either the best or absolutely masochistic, depending on the situation. So, whenever I stream, I take suggestions from the chat, and well, not from the chat. We have a system, but no song request in chat.
No song request in chat.
We take song suggestions, and it's anything from like Good Egg Galaxy from Mario Galaxy, or Through the Fire and the Flames. Mostly Through the Fire and the Flames, though. Like, that's the thing. It's like everybody wants to challenge you, and whenever you're playing drums at for 3 hours at a time, it gets a little bit tiring. But the chat is so awesome because and Twitch is really cool with it because there is an instant interaction that you don't get on any other platform. It's like going to a concert and you come into the concert hall and the lead singer's like, "Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?" That doesn't happen anywhere else other than like Twitch and possibly YouTube, but But yeah, it's so fun to be able to interact with people, and they can either be your best friend or your worst enemy, depending on what you allow them to be. And that's where moderators come in, but we could talk about that a little bit later on.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's a little different of a dynamic if you're performing and singing. Music's already very personal to people. Their taste is very personal, and then add on the layer of a personality and being a broadcaster. And people all have very different things they're willing to talk about and willing to address. On my channel, we can get into things like mental health. We can get into things like talk about music, talk about gear, and it can go either way. But I definitely feel that it's collaborative. They set the tone. They encourage what is happening in the channel at the time. I don't necessarily think they always drive it, but I take their feedback very seriously, and it helps me gauge what is good content versus what is not.
I completely agree with you, Stephanie, because for me, it's a collaboration and it's a hang. I mean, my channel isn't focused on performance. It's focused on the creativity and the making and the exercising of music. And so the people that are part of my chat are really in the room with me, hanging out, saying, hey, that's a cool thing, or hey, have you thought about this thing in that moment? And I just, it's a hang.
One more aspect of the community is the support that they can bring to you as a caster, because there are days that they're just like, people go crazy, especially during Christmas time. It's really weird. They will support what you are doing to a fault at times, and it's really humbling to see, like, they love your content so much that they're willing to support it in that way. And that's another aspect of the chat.
Yeah, big time for me as well, because when you're just exercising making music, it's not a performance that I've worked up to, and I've spent 40 hours before I even go on stage or whatever. It's you fail a lot, and making music is failing a lot. And my channel focuses on that aspect of it. It's long form content. It's not these small moments. So that's yeah.
And to that, I want to ask: do you see Twitch as a creative space, much like what you're describing, David, or is it a performance venue where you're prepared to go in, or is it both, or is it neither?
So the great thing about it is that it depends on the channel, and it can be any of those things. There are folks that do instrumentals, there are folks that do production, there are folks that strictly write their own stuff and bring there are folks that just do improvisational kind of instruments and don't, there are some folks that don't ever address the chat. They just are having their experience and sharing that with other people, and they see the encouragement, but they're not necessarily addressing and talking to the chat a lot. And there's folks that, and I would include myself in this category, that the chat really drives them and gives them energy, and yeah.
I couldn't see streaming on Twitch if I didn't interact with chat constantly. And there might be a moment where I say, hey guys, I'm in it right now, and I'm lucky because I have some strong admin and moderators that can say, hey, he's kind of in it right now, and they might go off, have their own conversation about a Focusrite interface or something. Yeah. Hashtag not sponsored.
Yet.
But I couldn't imagine going to Twitch as a new streamer and not saying, hey, I want to be a part of the community. I want to interact with chat. And I think myself, I lurked on so many channels and was part of other channels for years before I decided to stream.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's, honestly, on my channel, I don't just strictly perform. I've tried to record tracks and capture what's going on in my workstation, and people have come in and made suggestions, and I've learned from people. I've worked on new songs right in real time. I've tried to practice new things. So, and there's different folks that come up and are interested in all those aspects. So you don't have to pigeonhole yourself into one kind of content. You can do different kinds of things. And the great thing about being a broadcaster and having people like you for you is that they're going to support you no matter what you're doing. They're going to like you.
About.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about Twitch as a platform is you can do literally anything on the platform, according to TOS. But it's
always make sure you pay attention to your terms of service, folks.
TOS is
even
very
so,
important.
you can kind of.
But that's the cool thing is that even if they don't enjoy your content, they can people can always go and watch somebody else do exactly what they want to watch somebody else do, and that's your thing. You can do whatever it is that you would like to do. Either as a creator or as a viewer. You can watch whatever you want to watch, and you can make whatever you want to make. And people, if they like it, they'll support it, and that's the beauty of it.
And Twitch is working on better categories and tagging methods to make sure that you can filter by that content instead of just going to the music and performing arts category, and you can only expect to see one thing. There's now a tagging system that they're working on expanding, so you could tag singing, or you could tag music performance, or you could tag, a number of things and find content you like that way.
Hashtag.
Yes.
So one of the questions that, obviously a lot of these questions, just full disclosure, David actually came up with a lot of these questions, and so I'm using a lot of them and know where they go. So do you guys ever see big artists from other platforms coming to Twitch? For example, we've seen deadmau5 on Twitch. We've seen other people that aren't deadmau5 also on Twitch. Do you think that we'll see this more and more? And do you think it'll affect music on Twitch? And where do you see that going?
Absolutely. The lead singer from Dragon Force, or one of the lead guitarists from Dragon Force, Herman Lee, he streams on Twitch. Trivium's Matt Heafy streams on Twitch. There are so many new artists and already established artists that are moving to that platform to do extra things. Like I don't think that they are going to be doing like live performance and stuff, but Matt Heafy actually does his practices on Twitch. So you're able to get a behind the scenes, and that's
awesome.
That's a really cool thing because you're actually interacting with with your favorite artist in a way that you normally wouldn't be able to unless you had like a backstage pass or something. And that's kind of like another beauty of Twitch is it's literally a backstage pass to certain situations.
Another one, Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco. He recently got on Twitch he had like 3,000 or 4,000 viewers, and
he just played with one of my clients actually.
Damn,
that's nuts.
Cool.
It's awesome.
I mean, it is very cool, and I think that there might be. So far, the Twitch community's been very collaborative and very encouraging to other folks who are just sort of coming up from Twitch. It's their cornerstone platform. That's where they started. And you always wonder, like, are people going to be happy about these bigger names coming on? Like, is that, are they? I feel really happy about it because that just brings more people to knowing that the platform's there. That just brings more attention to the fact that there is content being made by musicians on Twitch. So I think it's a good thing.
Rising tide raises all ships.
Yes.
Yeah, big time. I love YouTube stuff, and I follow a lot of music YouTubers. And I've been chatting with a number of them recently, ones that have in that 30 to 40,000 range subs on YouTube. And a lot of them are production content creators as well. They make beats, and I think a lot of people are looking for an outlet. They're going to spend 4 or 5 hours on that beat, but they get to make a 5 to 10 minute piece of content for YouTube. And they're looking at Twitch or at streaming anywhere on the internet as an outlet for that 4 or 5 hours that they're going to spend anyway. And so I think we're going to start seeing a lot more production streamers, especially people that aren't treating streaming necessarily as a performance, and I'm not dogging on that. I think that's amazing, and I think that's going to continue to be a really cool thing. But just like you said, it was a backstage pass, it's also you get to go sit in the studio with somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. The crazy thing is that a lot of the people that make these records that we all listen to, we don't know who they are. You know the face of it, but you don't know who that person is. And I think I think those people are already starting to stream, and I think we're gonna start seeing more and more of that type of stuff. I mean, I look at maybe somebody like Mike Dean, who is he works on all the Kanye records, and he worked on that Travis Scott record. I mean, I look at somebody like that, and he's got 5,000 followers on Instagram. Like nobody knows who he is. But somebody like that, I think, is going to start coming to Twitch, and I think that's going to do one really awesome thing that I think that's going to do is it's going to push music, the cultural parts of music globally quickly, because you're going to be able to say, oh, the person at the top of their game, now I get to see exactly how they're doing this. Yeah. And I think, to me, that's one of the most exciting things about Twitch.
Yeah, because everybody knows Drake and God's Plan, whether or not you like it or not. And you don't know the other 51 rights holders that contributed to the creation of that song. Literally, 52 people worked on that song, or companies. Kind of going along that line, we've talked a lot about the creation of music live on stream. I want to talk a little bit about covering music on stream. What your concerns are there? Like, is there a heightened concern that you are going to mess up? Are there legal concerns? I might be kind of feeding myself a question. But what kind of concerns do you have when you're covering music on stream? Or in David's case, when you're creating something, you realize it might be influenced by something else?
So it depends on what type of music you're making. If you're doing like your own originals, if you're singing or performing your own originals, you have the rights to that music basically. But if you are covering or if you are playing along to something that you don't have the rights for, you can get in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
You do not want to, and like I'm sure that a lot of people in here have heard about the whole DMCA music scare on Twitch and their revised TOS about music on Twitch, and it actually scared me crapless because like that's what I do. It's like, oh, I can't do it anymore because I just cover music live. So I'm playing the original track and playing to it because I'm performing it. But something that we've done and something that I recommend a lot of people do is look into some of the music that is available to be played on Twitch. The Monster Cat license is a wonderful thing. Gets you thousands of songs, $5 a month, to be able to play any of that music on your stream. Stuff from 99 Lives is safe, things of that nature. And something that we've been doing for our channel specifically is making a whitelist of artists that are okay with me playing their music. Yes, it's not 100% set in stone, but I do have their permission, which holds up really well in situations where people are like, I don't want you playing my music on your cast, how dare you? And we've also made song suggestions free, which takes out that whole thing like, oh, well, you're getting paid to play my music on your cast. So it's a really fine line, but there are so many awesome resources to be able to get that music playable legally on your stream.
Yeah, there's also, he talked about Monster Cat, he talks about 99 Lives. There's a Twitch extension called Pretzel, which as of yesterday is now $5 as well. Ooh. And that has about 5,000 to 10,000 songs on it as well. Full disclosure, I work with them. And
hashtag sponsored.
Hashtag sponsored.
You're going to hear full disclosure a lot from that man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what right now.
There's a lot of disclosures. Quick question for everybody in the room. Who knows anything about the DMCA by show of hands? All right, that's about just under half. Okay. Mm-hmm. So for the rest of you, the DMCA is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which is a lot of legalese to say that, we have a copyright law in the modern era. And you might have heard about the DMCA, those 4 letters from a lot of Twitch streamers getting hit for playing music that they don't own. You might say, well, I bought the song on iTunes, why can't I play it on stream? Why can't I cover it live or something like that? It's because you don't have the proper rights to it, and that's where the lawyer comes in. What you need in order to stream music that you don't own all the rights for, such as covers or video game music, you need to make sure you have a synchronization license. And synchronization licenses allow you to synchronize music in time with live video or images. And so that's exactly what you need. However, it's really hard to get them because those licenses are the most valuable licenses that artists have. For example, if you want to put, Through the Fire and the Flames in the next Die Hard movie, it's like 50 grand in order to do that. It's a really expensive right. So there's a lot of organizations working right now to make that more accessible for content creators on Twitch and YouTube and the like. So there's my little legal thing.
It is frustrating though for folks who, I do cover things. I try to do as much original content as I can, but when you're streaming for 4 or 5 hours and you want it, like I actually cover Through the Fire and Flames, believe it or not, and it's very chill version. Okay, but
that's cool.
If I were to go play at a venue, okay, the venue should. We're assuming that they've done everything they should have done, has worked everything out with the performing rights organizations so that I can go into that venue with that particular occupancy and play those songs. I'm okay.
As long as you don't live stream it.
As an individual, I can't get those licenses. I can't get those as an individual. Are people doing it anyway? Yes, they are. But a lot of people know that it's not right, it's on shaky ground, and it's kind of the Wild West in that, where people are doing it anyway. And if I could pay and go get a license, acquire a license to do it myself, I would.
Same.
But we're running into the issue where Twitch is technically a digital venue, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, so my question for you, Noah, is what has to happen to make it possible?
So what has to happen is that all right, you guys ready for some legal stuff? Here we go.
I want to.
All right,
do this.
cool.
Yes.
So when it comes to an individual song, you've got 2 sets of rights holders. You got the person who wrote the song, the songwriter. Mm-hmm. And then if it's recorded, you've got the recording artist. And each of them has their own bundle of rights. And each of those rights includes like the right to make a copy of the original composition and of the sound recording. So, for example, if you go off and you download an MP3, which is a copy of a sound recording, you're actually violating the rights of two people, as long as you did it illegally, like we all did in middle school. Don't try and deny it.
LimeWire.
They're not really around anymore.
No, they're not.
So anyway, so you got those two sets of rights, and it's really difficult to get the synchronization rights, which is what you need from the publishers. That's the composition. And when you get those rights, you can do a lot with that music, and that'll allow you to create covers and derivative works. And if you can get the synchronization rights, you can create live, covers on stream. Like I said, that's super expensive. What Twitch needs to do is work with these major organizations, get blanket licenses. Sounds great, right? Well, here's the problem. Universal Music, who has most of these songs, doesn't actually have all these rights themselves. So Universal Music has about 50 million tracks. About 50,000 of them, they have both the songwriter and the recording artist rights. So they actually can't grant those rights to Twitch, which is horrible. However, there are a lot of companies working on getting both rights. It just is a matter of tracking down, typically the publishers, the songwriters, because you don't know who those people are. You know who the recording artist is. Everybody knows Justin Bieber, whether you like him or not. But not everybody knows Mike Posner. I see you shaking your head. All right. So not everybody knows Mike Posner, who wrote half of his songs. So that is what Twitch needs to do. They need to reach out to the songwriters, but they're hard to track down right now. I know David had a comment real quick.
Well, I'm curious actually. Does Twitch need to do that?
Yes.
Why? No, I'm serious.
They
like
really do.
safe harbor? Question mark?
So Twitch needs to. So under the DMCA, it's a lot of legal. Under the DMCA, there's something called the safe harbor provision. Essentially, it was created to protect people like Google. If you search for a particular picture of Pikachu on Google, Nintendo cannot sue Google for pulling up 1 billion pictures of Pikachu, because of a safe harbor provision. They're a service provider, and therefore they're protected. Twitch is a service provider. The problem with Twitch is they have to adhere to certain guidelines. So if someone sees their content up on Twitch and they didn't license it, they can send a takedown notice to Twitch. And then Twitch says, oh, hey, we got a takedown notice. They take it down. The person who published it says, actually, I own the rights to that. They can put it back up. Now, you swear under this under penalty of perjury, which means that if you lie, you could go to prison, which is bad generally. So, generally it's bad. I mean, unless you're like in Prison Break on a TV show. And so the service provider safe harbor typically protects Twitch. However, Twitch doesn't always enforce DMCAs like they should.
This is not a thing I knew.
Yeah, and I wasn't actually allowed to say this at the TwitchCon panel.
Yeah,
There's a lot we're not talking. There's a lot we didn't talk about at the TwitchCon panel that we're talking about.
This is some shit we wanted to get into.
Yeah.
So the way that Twitch gets around this is that they just mute your VOD, but if your song is not in their audio recognition software, then they don't automatically mute your VOD.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that kind of leads back to my question of, does Twitch need to?
Twitch needs to, because I would say Twitch needs to, because if Ninja goes up there and Ninja says, hey, I'm just going to play God's Plan, and Drake says, actually, screw Ninja, and he decides to sue Ninja, then they're going to actually sue Ninja and Twitch, because...
Fair enough.
And
if they send a DMCA takedown and they ignore it.
Right, but they could, either way, they could still sue Twitch, just whether or not they'd win.
Interesting.
And that's still going to cost them a ton of money.
My thought is that the record companies, and there's 3 big record companies in the United States, that they're unwilling to just go to absolute war with Twitch because it's a PR nightmare for them.
Oh, yeah.
And so, do it. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Who wants to go up against
I'm serious.
Amazon?
Like, go do covers. Who cares?
It's very...
Twitch isn't going to do anything,
No,
and the
sure,
record
but-
companies aren't going to do anything.
Well,
just do it.
It's interesting because, Twitch is built under the premise of people streaming content that doesn't belong to them. Video games is the same thing. It also doesn't belong to them. But
the entire profession is illegal.
But the
basically,
whole,
yeah.
But the gaming culture, developers, and they understand that actually helps their communities. That's good for them. They encourage it. Nintendo's not the best, I hear.
Nintendo's really not good with that stuff.
So,
But yeah,
Neither is
but it's
Disney.
what will it take for this mindset to come
Right.
over to other types of popular
Or you could just
media,
watch the Logan Paul fight.
So one thing I want to add to that is you are in control of the risk you are allowing yourself to take. And if you don't care, okay, I'm gonna go play whatever I want to. That's fine. That's your choice. But you are at risk of getting in big trouble with that. You can get DMCA claimed. You can get your channel taken down, even up to being sued, and things of that nature. But as any business, you are taking risk, and whatever risk you think is okay to take is what you're going to do with your channel. Me personally, I'm doing everything I can to not lose my channel because I really, really love doing this. It helps me to, support me and my family, and I don't want any trouble. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I reach out to the artists themselves on Twitter, Facebook. You'd be surprised at how okay they are about oh yeah, play to my stuff. That's awesome. Technically, it is permission. It is not a legally binding contract saying that I have the rights to play their song, but
And they might not own all of the
exactly,
things.
they might not even own their rights. But
God's plan.
out of goodwill, ask permission. Out of goodwill, because of the fact that if you're playing stuff without permission and you're making money from somebody else's content, they can get annoyed and they can try to take you down.
Right.
I really recommend just reaching out and looking for different things to keep yourself safe, because that's what this is all about at the end of the day. You can do whatever the heck you want to on Twitch, period. And you can get taken down for whatever you choose to do. But it is up to you the type of risk that you're willing to take, because that's just how any business goes. And whenever you become either an affiliate or a partner, you are a quote-unquote business owner, because you are making money doing what you're doing, depending on how supportive your community is.
And just be aware that it's illegal.
Yes, 100%. Twitch is a copyright infringement machine. They don't want to tell you that, but literally everything that you do not have the rights for, whether you're playing a game, playing music, or whatever. The only safe spot on Twitch is just chatting. With no music, you talking.
Yeah.
That's
Or if
all
you're
you
purely
can do.
making original content.
Yes, exactly.
As long as you don't have pictures of Pikachu
Yes.
on a poster behind you.
Just have a green screen.
That's
without
fair
it
use,
chroma
man.
keyed. That's all you can do.
The
legally.
Pikachu's fair use, bro.
It's not fair use. Oh.
So I'm gonna divert us away from the legal, even though I love it.
Yeah, right.
It makes
so
me
much.
uncomfortable. Thank you.
It makes me uncomfortable. I'm a
Just do
lawyer.
it. Do whatever you want. Who
Stream
cares?
on Twitch. Wait,
All right.
but
That's
Just for the record, don't just do it. Yeah. Okay. So
He's not your
question-
lawyer.
I am the lawyer.
you're not their lawyer.
That's true. I'm not your lawyer.
He's
Yeah.
my lawyer. Don't
Yet.
do it.
So, quick question for you guys. What do you think the cultural significance is of music on Twitch going forward? How do you think it's going to contribute to the community? How do you think that communities around the world can contribute to the growth of music using Twitch?
That's wonderful. Twitch is quickly becoming one of the biggest platforms on the planet, and it is absolutely wonderful that you're able to get in touch with these musicians who you love listening to, and who you might not be able to get in contact with any other way, because I can only imagine what the Twitter inbox of some of these bigger artists look like. But you can be like, hey, I like your content. I want to support you directly. Drop 1,000 bits, and they're going to be like, yo, thank you. It kind of it helps out with the idol culture as well that we have all over the world, where it's like, this guy is so awesome, but I can't talk to him. On Twitch, you're just like, yo, hi, you suck. You can do that, it's such a fun
That's
way of doing it.
Fortnite chat everywhere.
But yeah, it's one more breaking the divide between creator and community, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
yeah, I definitely agree. And I will say just something personal about me. I didn't play music for 10 years, and I couldn't get through an entire song without messing up or something like that when I first started. And being in a city or being confined to a physical location where you're trying to go out and rehearse a set and go find a bar who will let you play, or an open mic where maybe one person is interested in what you did, that is not super rewarding. And I have 2 kids. I don't have time for that. But I could document my entire growth, and still my entire growth as an artist. what was 3 years ago is much different than what I'm doing today, but it was okay to just show up and be who I was and do what I did. And at any given time, there were people from all over the world. And what are the odds you're going to find your true fans in just a city? You know, you have to go on tour, right? That's very expensive and time-consuming in the traditional, music industry methods of gaining fans and making money. So it's totally going to change the game. It has for me. It's made it possible for me to support my family making music. And I'm mailing letters, New Year's letters, to like 16 different countries this week. I have friends in Brazil, Germany, England, Philippines. It's
Australia.
Yeah, it's Australia. I mean, it's global, it's simultaneous, and the people who like exactly what you're doing can find you easier in one spot on the internet, obviously, than trying to plug away at all the other methods that you've had to do it before. So it's definitely changed the game.
I think you guys are both dead on point. I think that when we make music as music makers, everybody's a music maker. That's my opinion. I think the exercising of making music is a huge part of making music. And it's not just about that 3-minute performance or, spending 40 hours to get ready for a 45-minute performance, like you said. And I think it's going to change. I think something like Twitch, if it isn't Twitch specifically, it's going to be definitely something like Twitch, where it's going to teach the younger generation, go out there and have fun and make some messes. Yeah. That's what Twitch is, man.
I will say, a couple of us have been on a panel about making music on Twitch before out at TwitchCon, and David brought together a really cool group of individuals from across the world. And one of the points that was made was that there's a really eclectic sound. No matter where you are, you're going to have music and culture that is different from anywhere else. And Twitch allows you to hear all those different cultures in one spot. And I think that will probably likely influence a lot of what you create and make when you're producing on stream.
Yeah, it's going to influence you directly. One of my big streams is where I do feedback for people, and they bring in different kinds of music from all over the world. And while a lot of it is electronic music or electronic dance music, I get all kinds of various types of music, and those things influence me directly. Right. And then my opinions about them, my conversation with the people that are working on those are influenced by me, as well as other people in chat that have completely different opinions on that. Mm-hmm. And so those types of things I think are, Twitch is amazing for those reasons. It brings those people together, and it's so cool.
You get to go on tour from the comfort of your own home. Yeah. That is the most wonderful thing about Twitch for me, is like I'm in my dad's garage rocking out, being able to like share this awesome experience with other people. And that is just, there's nothing that beats that for me. Like, I don't even have to drive. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Jared, have you ever had somebody come into your chat and just drop a song? So tell them, obviously, give it a little bit of background of how you operate. Mm-hmm. But have you ever had somebody just come into your chat and drop a song that you've never heard of before? It's completely weird time, and you just learned from it.
Yeah, way too much actually. So my channel is a suggestion channel, 100%. Like every song that I play is given to me by my chat or by somebody. And good Lord, there are just some times where I'm getting stuff with like a 15/8 time signature that stops and goes. This is why anime is illegal in my chat. Okay. Real talk, anime openings are the hardest thing I think I've ever played on drums. Speedcore, grindcore, give me anything like that. Give me smooth jazz. Anime openings are crazy, dude. Like shout outs to my buddy right here. He watches a lot of Berserk, and he gave me the opening to the Berserk anime, and it's I think it's 9mm by Parabellum Bullet or whatever. I don't even know what the Inferno. This song is absolutely insane, and he's just like, "Oh, play it." Do it, you can do it. I'm just like, I can't do it. So no, but it's so fun learning on the fly too. And Twitch keeps you on your toes, man. Your chat will keep you going. And that's the beauty of it, because the chat's hype, you're hype, you make the chat more hype and vice versa. And it just builds on that. And that's what makes a good time. Don't request that song no more. Yeah. Daggone it.
And that kind of leads me into another question is, what advice do you guys have for anybody out here who wants to make music on Twitch? What, getting started, getting over your initial hump of, oh my goodness, what if I mess up? What kind of suggestions do you have?
You're gonna mess up,
Oh,
so
good.
go do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, literally. I mean,
100%.
though some people have different philosophies. I know some people that are very meticulous. They want to make sure that their overlay and their panel information and their content and everything is perfect and rehearsed and as good as they can get it before they go there.
Just do that on stream.
We're like, yeah,
Just make it on stream.
I did that on stream. I did that because I didn't have time to do it the other way.
Yeah.
And anything that I didn't know, there was.
And all of your subs and followers love you because of that.
Well, maybe.
They do.
I hope so. But
'Cause now they're more personally
they do
tied to
feel
you, too.
invested. And I will say that if you don't know anything, people are great at backseating and telling you how to do it. You're not gonna. You go there, you don't know what to do. Somebody's gonna come and tell you hey, what's a byte rate? I didn't know what a bit rate was. Like bit rate. What?
amazing.
A byte rate. Oh,
rate.
okay, yeah. I didn't know what a bit rate was, and
Okay,
I was
good.
dropping frames, and somebody said, well,
Pick 'em
okay,
back
I'll
up.
go through. Yeah, I mean, we're live troubleshooting.
Right. We actually did that once in one of the streams I just watched of you when your name changed.
Yeah, that's
live on
right.
stream.
Yeah, we had to figure out what to do then too. So I say just do it. But another big thing I want to suggest is also see who else is doing it too. And go say hi to them and go get to know the community, because it's not, in Twitch especially, it's not just a bunch of individuals kind of doing things on their own islands. A lot of us know each other. He's raided me before with a bunch of viewers. They came over and he was finishing his stream up and they came and hosted my channel, and a lot of us grow that way and a lot of us get to know each other that way. So do feel free, if you're not ready to stream yet, to go check out creators and say hello to them and get integrated with the platform and the culture a little bit before you stream if you want to. And don't feel like you're alone in it, because people are always willing to help you and answer questions.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a very collaborative and very open and creative environment.
And do you. Don't do something that you see somebody else doing, because you're going to hate it.
Yeah, you have to have fun, because if you make a living out of this, you're going to be doing it anywhere from 2 to 8 hours at a time a day, or well, not a day, but a couple days a week. But for example, my first stream had no sound.
What?
Yeah, I had no sound, no lighting. I was literally you couldn't hear anything. Please don't go look back. I don't even know if that VOD exists. I hope it doesn't.
I'm gonna find it.
But there was a guy who came into my chat, and he's been a mod since day 2, I think, because my first stream nobody came in. But on that day he was like, "Yo, you have no sound." I'm like, "Really?" So we fixed it, and I could actually, I was able to actually play, and that's when people started coming in. And do your research. But don't let fear or anything like that hold you back. Yeah, you're gonna have a slow start. Everybody starts with 0 viewers. Literally everybody.
And a year in, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
And your chat's going to help you figure it out.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Unsolicited help is kind of annoying at times, but it can really help you out in certain situations, because I didn't ask anybody to help me out with my stream, but people came along. My moderator team are some of the most awesome people in the world. And I really, really appreciate all their help that they do, because I would be in the dark ages if it wasn't for them. Oh man, I'd still have no sound. That's just how it goes. Don't let things hold you back. You're going to mess up, and that's okay. Because that's the funny part of Twitch anyways. You end up on Twitch fails, then you get tons of more people coming in. So.
Well, it makes you human.
Yeah, you get front page of Reddit for your biggest fail.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, Reddit is full of they're experts at everything. You can't do anything right on Reddit, dude.
Everyone here's on Reddit, so thank you guys.
Literally.
I wanted to ask real quick, and then we'll open up for questions. So you're talking about growing and starting from 0. As you grow, have you offered anything to your community other than emotes or certain sub perks? Are there things that you do to reward your audience and build more of a connection?
So I'll start on this one, I guess, because we've had a weird structure. We've always been changing it. We used to do song suggestions or song requests for money. We used to say, $8 gets you a song suggestion, 3 goes to charity, blah, 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 all that stuff. We've made it free because of the fact that we want to allow for everybody to do that. That was actually a change we made this Christmas. Things that I recommend doing, if you want to be a community-based streamer, open up a Discord, make it either sub-only if you're a partner or affiliate, or you can make it completely public. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that the people who are supporting you have something to say thank you for. It's not about getting something, but it's about giving something back. So, like, you don't want people to sub to you to make sure that you do something on stream, because that creates an expectation and that becomes toxic very, very fast. Yeah. So just make it try to make it completely freeform. Took me 3.5 years to figure this out. Like, just make it fun for everybody, and anybody who supports, give them a little bit extra, but don't guarantee that extra.
What's the little bit extra?
So we have a sub-only area in the Discord. Like, that is based in the emotes.
And it's a conversation in there that people can share.
Oh yeah,
memes and whatever.
We have ever since we made the Discord public, we doubled the count in there. And everybody who's in the sub-only areas, they're having a great time just talking about stuff, posting memes, things like that. And if you want to become like a community-based person, Discord is a fantastic tool for that.
Discord's wonderful.
Twitch integration, you can have music bots, all types of stuff. You can have 30 people talking about the same thing in the same chat, which gets kind of crazy. But it's wonderful, though, because you get to interact with the people who support you and love what you do, and there is no better feeling than that.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I have a Discord. It's always been public, but there's a couple threads locked down. One of them is just for announcements and special sneak previews of things that are happening that subscribers and patrons get to know about. Another one is for recordings. So I'll record, like for instance, I just recorded an EP, so all of my demos that I did before the EP, I posted all the demos on there for them to download. If I record anything, they have access to that. And I give them my time too, as much as I can, but I try to give that to everybody. But yeah, it does get difficult. You don't want to get into that tit for tat kind of and also it's not fun for you. What if they give you $8 and they request Ed Sheeran again, and I don't want to play Ed Sheeran. It's not going to be fun for me. It's not going to be fun for anybody.
Ed Sheeran's all right.
I mean, he's nice.
I try to make things, all kinds of things, and anytime anybody asks, hey, I have this thing that I could use your thing on, I give it to them, and that's it. And I mean, unless there's some reason it's for a label project or something like that where I can't, then I won't, or I'll try to be like, hey, I have this other thing that maybe could kind of fit. I also make a lot of sample packs, and generally every month I try to make a new sample pack, and I put that in my sub-only Discord, like you were talking about. And so you get free, awesome samples. I mean, January is Barry saxophone. One of my best friends is an amazing Barry saxophone player. You get a Barry saxophone sampler instrument that you can put into whatever your DAW is. And so I think just give, and eventually people give back.
Oh, and virtual currency. You can, I have loyalty points. Obviously, a lot of streamers do this. Loyalty points. For every minute they're in your chat, they earn X amount of points or whatever. Well, I do take requests, but the only ones that I will guarantee that I take are VIP requests, and you have to save up your loyalty points. So by the time you have enough to actually request a song, you're somebody that I know you're going to probably request something I like, and I'm really going to feel motivated to do that for you. And I've used them for other things like a postcard. I'll mail you a postcard once you have a couple thousand points or things like that. So you can do a lot of cool things.
What's cool too is
those.
For the people that build those types of loyalty points, if they say, hey, I'd really love it if you could do this song, and you're like, hey, I'm just not feeling this right now.
You don't have to take the loyalty points.
Exactly.
You can give them right back to them.
Those are people that really understand that too, because you built the community.
Something you have to be willing to do as well is to change the way that you do things. You have to be able to grow and evolve with your growing and evolving channel. Because we've never done loyalty points because, good Lord, it's too much for me to handle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to play to your strengths. So we started at $2 for a song request, went up to $5, went up to $8. Now we just do free suggestions, but if you support me, then I'll do what I can. It's like you have to be willing to move along, because it's not always going to be able to stay the same thing. And you can, like, I'm a very, very stubborn person who does not like change. Ask my wife. And it is very hard for me to make those changes. And December was a very crazy month, let's just put it that way. But you have to be willing to do that. And the cool thing is that you can go the community route, you can go the extra content route with like Patreon or something like that. There are just so many different ways you can do it. You can interlap them. And that's, once again, the beauty of it. You can do whatever you want to, whatever you feel comfortable with.
That's awesome. So I'm going to take a second and open up the floor for any questions. I'm pretty sure we don't have a mic. Patrick, do we have a mic? No. All right,
just scream it to us. Raise your hand,
maybe
we'll
we could
pick
try
you.
to repeat it.
Cool, perfect. So you were the first one to raise your hand. Go for it, man.
So you see this a lot on YouTube videos where they have like the protected under parody or critique or educational. Like if, obviously that's kind of not true in a lot of cases. If someone was doing like a remix, how far would they have to go to make a parody?
Yeah. So the question is, something says it's protected in a parody, it's fair use or no copyright intended. That's all crap.
Yeah.
That's all bullshit.
Fair use is a defense. It is not a right. You have to be sued in order to claim it. And getting sued costs money. Trust me, I know because I charge for it. So for that amount, the question is, how much can you do of a remix before you can say it's a parody? Well, generally, if, like, for example, Weird Al, good example, but he still even gets permission to do every single one he does.
Yeah, doesn't he's always done that, right?
Yeah, he's always done that. What he'll do in some cases is he'll record it, send it to the artist, and be like, I love this. Can I do this? And they've said no to him in some cases.
He's had people say no.
And he doesn't do it once they say no. It's all
he doesn't
about
put it out.
like the goodwill and asking permission goes a long way sometimes to making content. And you just have to be willing to make those connections and reach out. Don't be afraid to, because people are people. Big artists are just another person who got either really lucky or is really good at something because they've practiced it. And don't worry about that. Just reach out to them. If they don't answer, then go to somebody else.
And also, there's like no minimum amount of time. Just want to settle this once and for all. If you take 1 second of a song and it is recognizable, it is infringement. No questions. It's not like, oh, it's less than 10 seconds. No, that's not true.
Your alerts can get you into trouble on Twitch. I used to have like the opening thing for 200 bits from Metallica. It's like dun, 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 and that's it. You can technically get in trouble for that.
Yes,
So we've taken it down. I haven't reached out to Metallica because I don't think that's actually possible for me to get rights from them. But speaking of which, I've reached out to Noma, the guy who made Brain Power, and I said, hey, can I have your permission to play your one song Brain Power on my stream? And he's just like, go for it. So I'm like, yes. So now I can use that as an alert, and I can play to it if I would like to. Technically, I don't have 100% legal permission, but he has given me permission and goodwill to play his content on my channel. So it's all about just asking. Ask permission. Don't just take it into your own hands.
Dude in the back.
Way in the back.
Well, I just wanted to add to that because I was thinking, like, what if you're doing for educational, if you're breaking down a song, for example, to discuss the structure of it?
If you were playing the song, so for example, you often see that in like a YouTube video where somebody says, oh, I'm going to teach you how to play Wonderwall. Here's Wonderwall. And so, thank you guys. And you play a little bit of it, you still don't own that composition, and so that's infringement. If you play any of the song and say, now listen to this, I'm going to recreate this on my tuba. Still infringement. So even if it's educational, you still got to get sued to say it's educational. So, all right, that guy.
So where does the gray line for using an instrument pack from, say, Chrono Trigger
Oh, wow.
in an original song? Where does that fall in line?
All right, so the question is, like, where's the gray line? It's a lot of legal questions, guys. Thank you. Where's the
what
gray
we're all
line from,
concerned
like,
about.
using an instrument pack from Chrono Trigger? Where does that fall? So I will say, if you know the artist who creates the sample packs, by the way, that's awesome, and I didn't know you did that.
100%.
Very cool.
That's so cool.
thanks.
Baritone saxophone, so much fun to play the Mission Impossible theme. Anyways, if you can make sure that you have the rights to that sample pack and that you can use that, then it's good.
Noah? So if it's from a company and you're buying it, you're paying money and you're buying it, they're going to have in their setup some legalese of what you can use it for.
Yeah.
I've actually seen a lot of smaller creators have put things in that will sell stuff that really isn't, or they'll say this can't be for a major release. I've seen that too, which means please don't try to make this a major release. That's what that means.
Don't put this in
And
a
my
Tesla
suggestion would
commercial.
be to not buy that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're getting anything from Splice, anything that's on Splice, you're good to go. You know.
Yeah,
Or if you come
exactly.
to me, you're good to go. So yes, but look for the red flags of like, hey, these are people making money off of other people's content. PewDiePie. No, I'm kidding. Sub to PewDiePie.
Like, make sure, like,
was good.
it's a joke
Yeah,
to
it
say, oh, make sure you read the fine print. Actually, read a little bit of the fine print.
Or call your lawyer.
Yeah, or that. That's the main thing. Is like there are certain phrases you want to look for, like not available for commercial use, or something like that. So if you're making money using the product that you are purchasing, like that's why there are the business forms of Photoshop or the business or pro versions. Anything that says not for commercial use can get you into trouble if you use them for commercial means. So yeah.
I would say too, like, don't decide if it's a thing that you're like when in doubt, don't.
Yeah.
When in doubt, don't.
All about risk.
Unless you fucking love that thing, and say, all right, what's the worst case scenario here? Okay, I could get sued. Okay, that could be good.
That's bad.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
He has a high level of risk he's willing to take. You see.
You see what I'm saying though? Like that's that vocal sample that's gonna make this thing, and I fucking love this. Use it. Just
Yeah.
understand that you've now opened yourself up. But I generally go with when in doubt, don't.
Yeah, so to answer the question, basically summarize, when in doubt, don't check your license. And one more thing to remember is if you're using a really widely available and popular sample pack, it'll likely flag on YouTube with other songs that have used parts from that sample pack, and it'll demonetize your content. So
But you won't really get hit too hard for
you
that.
won't get hit on a lawsuit,
Yeah.
you just won't be able to make money on your YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Next question. I think that guy's been waiting a little bit. Yeah, do with the hair.
Which one? There's so many.
I've got a legal question.
Okay, cool.
About that. So YouTube's got a fun system of, copyright claims.
Yeah, Content ID sucks.
And, like, all of us who, like, use that stuff, we'd be totally fine if the actual copyright holder gets,
That was a conversation we had earlier.
Yep.
the appropriate rate for that. Like, we'd be totally fine if that's the case. But, of course, it doesn't always happen.
Right.
So if you guys had your hands on the console, like on the Twitch thing, how would you? I know that I don't, not how to fix it, but how would you go about?
This is Dreamland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would you
So-
go about avoiding the abuse that YouTube?
So the question is, if you're in Dreamland, how can you avoid the copyright content ID abuse that you often see on YouTube? I'll let you guys take this one.
Dude, Twitch isn't doing anything about it right now.
They're not.
So, what do you care? They muted your VOD. Who cares?
Once again,
You know? I
I
don't
prefaced that with, like, I used to think the same thing. I used to think, like, yo, it's getting muted on Twitch. I don't care. I'm going to put it up on YouTube and make ad revenue off of it. It's fine. You're getting muted for a reason. And, like, once again, it all has to deal with risk. It has to
Right.
deal with the risk you are willing to take in your situation. And, I mean, if you want to, go for it. But, if you talk to that guy,
And
he
to,
will say,
to say what the risk is. I mean, think back to the Napster days when the labels went after
yeah,
like people.
for downloading
And there
the
was
stuff.
that one, mom in Ohio who had 2 songs on her computer
And
or
she
whatever.
got charged $250K for each song on her
Yes, she
computer.
owed $500,000 for 2 songs.
Just to make an example out of her.
That's
That's horrible.
that's exactly what you're putting yourself in the fire of.
So to kind of get back to the question of
Yeah, yeah.
how would we fix the issue? If in a perfect world, how would we make sure that YouTubers could still monetize but still have that kind
You
of
want to make
content?
memes, right?
It's more like if
I mean,
moving forward,
Yeah.
just make them.
how would you do it differently if you were in control of that?
If yeah.
To make it more fair.
Go ahead. You go right ahead.
I don't know if I might be going down a different line of thinking, so it's. Well, I was thinking, it'd be really nice if, as an artist, you could go into a database,
Yeah.
Yes.
search for a
exactly.
song, see how much it cost,
You know.
pay for it.
And I will say there's actually, so to answer your question, what I would do is I would
even
do
have
the
your
exact same
community
thing. Be
pay
like,
for it.
what is the rate for this song? Can I subscribe to this? Kind of like a Spotify-like system, except that would compensate the artist a lot more. And I will tell you, there is something that is coming down the pipeline for that this year with Twitch.
Very nice.
Can't talk too much about it though, sorry. But yes, there's something coming down the pipeline.
In a hypothetical situation where I had all control over all systems on Twitch and I could allow for this to happen, I would love it for artists to be able to go, hey, I would love for my stuff, there's like different tiers. I would love for my stuff to get played, just make sure they credit me, and that would be enough. Or you could do the tier where, hey, if this song is suggested through bits or through a currency, I would like maybe like 2% of that or something like that. You know, you could set your rate just like on certain websites, or you could go the full-on route where it's like, you don't play my music on Twitch or I'll come after you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the type of thing. I wish that there was more of a fine line of what we can do with music.
There's a list like that for YouTube.
I don't trust them. Not after what happened to twitch.music.tv or whatever.
And it's like a guideline, not really like this is
Yeah.
what will happen, but it's kind of a guideline.
If you're looking for something to use right now, I will say that, for example, there's song requests built into the Pretzel extension, and that's got a massive catalog, so that could help you right now.
And that actually, Pretzel compensates the artist directly if you're requesting through that app.
Cool.
So like it's a really like I don't really know the word for it, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird way of having to go about doing it, but you do support the artist directly through Pretzel.
Pretzel has a 70-30 split with the artist. They keep 30 and artists get 70.
And you know, it's weird because I'm asking permission from people. I'm not basically compensating them for the music that I'm playing from them on Twitch. There's the whole, and I'm sure y'all have heard it. Oh, exposure argument, you know, like, oh, hey, I can do this and you'll get exposure from it. Yeah, you know, no.
Yeah.
Like, stop this. But no, it's, there is that thing where there is some good to come from playing somebody's stuff to show other people their music.
Right.
But they have to be okay with that as well. Like, once again, all about asking permission and the goodwill of others.
So hopefully that answered your question a little bit. We went a lot of places on
we
that
did.
answer. Okay, and
Yep.
you've been holding your hand up forever. Is that a hand? Cool, go for it.
Yeah.
Hey, so Big Pink Gorilla in the room, DJing, as far as performance DJing, it seems to be in gray areas everywhere. What's your take on it? Just curiosity.
So performance DJing on Twitch and what the gray area is?
I mean, we kind of talked about it quite a
Little
bit, you know?
So typically when you're
My opinion.
DJing, you're using samples in other songs. You don't have the rights to use it. So in a performance venue, for example, if you are, say, in a club, they pay for all those rights.
Yeah.
You're squared away there, but you don't have it on Twitch because you don't have the sync rights. So if you're like DJing a party for your chat, that's really cool. I'm all about it, but you're probably going to get sued at some point.
They just redid the music community guidelines on Twitch, and I do believe that DJing is actually frowned upon, if I'm not mistaken, which kind of sucks, but because I love there's Lost in House. There's a really cool channel that does that stuff, and I used to watch them all the time. I can't remember if they're still doing stuff or not, but they really clarified what Twitch is okay with on stream right now, and I'm sure that they're doing some things to work to make it better for music artists, but that's going to be put down the pipeline, to be honest. I don't know, especially whenever it comes down to samples of music that you don't have the rights for. I mean, I'm literally playing the entire thing. I'm not even doing a sample. I'm doing the whole song. So I recommend you... golly, it's such a weird
There
question.
are a lot of
Use
DJs
Pretzel,
on
man.
Twitch.
There are
a lot of DJs anyway.
Yeah.
Find new content that you can get the rights to. You know, use Pretzel, use Monster Cat, use that stuff. You know, I know that sucks and maybe that limits your creativity, but now that's the sandbox you have to work with.
Or just take the risk.
And when in doubt,
Risk,
don't, or
exactly.
take the risk, which is what
I'll tell you
suggest
one
to do.
really DJ-friendly artist on Pretzel is Made Monster. They're actually DJs themselves, so check them out.
Yeah,
So-
you can always ask other artists and other people who stream on Twitch. They are most of the time, more than welcome to give you all the information that you need. All you got to do is ask.
Yeah. We have time for, literally one question, I think. Patrick, we have time for one question? Yes. Thank you, Patrick. And we can answer questions afterwards as well. So go ahead, buddy.
So I was curious, since you said your stream is mostly production focused and stuff, I feel like, I don't know, I felt like that sort of thing seems like kind of a, well, I guess I'm just wondering, like when you first started, what exactly did you do to grow your viewer base and actually make people interested in sticking around to watch that?
Absolutely. It's impossible. I mean, really, because it's what I call long-form content. You know, I mean, streaming on Twitch in general is long-form content, but what we do as music production people, it is because there's not necessarily these individual moments, and we can't, as creators, especially the way that I think it's built into it, at the very least, the way that we make beats and we do production stuff now, it's not built into when those moments will happen. So you might have to tune in for 4 hours to catch one or two of those types of moments. And so a lot of the people that are in my chat and a lot of people that are in my community are production people themselves, or they have some other creative discipline that is sort of, you know, is analogous to mine, and they get inspiration from that. So I find that I treat my channel quite a bit like an inspiration channel, you know, like let's celebrate the thing that you're working on, you know, and let's do, you know, you made a thing, or you're working on making a thing, and I think that's awesome. And that's the types of stuff that I've really found that I've liked to focus on. The feedback streams are huge for me personally. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and you know, that type of thing. So I understand your trepidation. Question is, will anybody watch? The answer is not necessarily, and that's okay. That's kind of the music production thing. And I consider us high altitude climbers, man. We're like going for the first descent, you know? Like we don't know what it is yet. You know, we're not doing covers, we're not doing song requests, we're not doing anything that is directly relatable necessarily to a larger public. But I also think, like I was talking about earlier, I think that the music culture is going to change, where the types of things that we're doing is going to be big in the exercise of making music. So I think the types of things that music production people and people that want to sit down with a little device and make an idea and have some fun and make music, that's going to start becoming more serious, and I think will be celebrated more. And so I think it's going to grow considerably over time, but it will be slow, and that's okay.
And people like when you talk to them.
They do.
Talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Talk about what you're doing. Even if there's nobody there, just talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes that helps.
People can watch to be entertained, or they can watch to learn. So it just depends on what you want to watch, basically.
So that's all the time that we've got. This is going to be posted later. If any of you have any questions or said, oh, hey, Noah said something, or David said something, or Stephanie said something, or Jared said something that I completely missed and I want to view it, it's going to be posted later on YouTube. Yeah. You can find us, just going to throw out socials real quick. Jared, where can we find you?
Right here. No, Twitch.tv/8bitdrummer. That's my main thing.
Cool.
David Miner TV and David Miner.
Twitch.tv/Stephanie or Dead Stephanie, DED Stephanie, on all other social platforms.
And you can find me everywhere as my lawyer friend, except for Instagram, where it's my.lawyerfriend. So thank you all very much. We'll be around for questions.
Thank you.